They say age rhymes with knowledge or something like that. The saying I'd rather love using is experience is the best teacher. You want to know why I say so? At my tender age, I have seen enough to write a novel. We used to be a happy little family. Dad worked in the bank as a chief accountant, and Mom used to stay at home to take care of all our needs. My brother and I had just focused on our education, sleep, and be happy. I used to marvel at my mom's strength. Even when dad was jobless, she made sure we lacked nothing. She would always wake up at 5 a.m. for no good reason. Even when there was nothing to do, that woman could simply not just keep her body and soul in bed. From cooking multiple meals, cleaning over and over again, gardening, helping out with our homework, and above all, showing us the greatest love on earth, I considered my mama a superhero. It might be true nothing is ever perfect, but I tell you my family was perfect for me. After a while, I realized mom and dad had moved to separate rooms. It is true they tried to do it in a subtle way so my brother and I wouldn't notice, but you should know I was a critical spirit right from childhood. She moved to our room and dad stayed in their room. I was only 6, but a very curious human being. So I tried asking. She told me she didn't want to be waking up dad with her early duties. It's true it didn't make any sense to me, but I understood the question made her uncomfortable. I loved my mom and parents so much, I could read in their souls. I could sense anything that wasn't right. I soon noticed Dad started coming home late, and at times he would refuse to eat. One day, my brother and I went to bed and he fell asleep as soon as he touched the bed, but I stayed up pretending to be sleeping. Mom was waiting for Dad in the sitting room. I heard his car at the door. Then she went to open. I heard something like a quarrel. I tiptoed to the door and stood there trying to see what was happening. I saw Dad push Mom to the floor, then smudge her chest with his shoes. I ran to wake my brother up, but he was so deep asleep, so I returned there, stood biting my lips with tears flowing down my cheeks. He walked into his room raining insults and banged the door. I ran to her as she was laying hopeless with tears on the floor. I took her in my arms and I told her I was sorry for not being able to help. She stared at me for long, then pressed me so hard in her arms and we both cried there for some minutes, then went to bed. I really didn't sleep that night. The whole scene ran over and over again in my mind. I held her so close in my mind. She looked so beautiful, sleeping like a newborn baby. But how could she sleep with all those scars? The pain. How? I swore to myself it would never happen again. Not as if I was going to walk out of Christianity or culture, but I wouldn't let any man treat me like this. Never. Not my mom, not me, nor any other woman I come across. I didn't know how, but I swore to protect all these fragile creatures that were giving up their souls and lives for men. Yes, that was a decision nobody could take away from me. When I woke up the next morning, Mom was already out of bed. I went to my brother and woke him up to talk about the incident that happened last night. He just gave me a blank look, then told me it's normal for couples to disagree. I felt so angry. Then I left without saying a word. I stood at the kitchen door staring at that woman in there. The pictures of the previous night ran through my mind. I was filled with anger and disgust. She then looked up and saw me. "Come in, Mama," she said with a smile. I moved into the kitchen and stared at her for a minute. Then with anger in my voice, I said, "Why didn't you defend yourself?" "What do you mean?" I got more angry and spoke in a loud tone. "Why did you just let Dad push you on the floor and smash you like a butterfly? For heaven's sake, Mom, you are taller and more powerful than him. She smiled and took my hand in tears and said, "When I was on the point of getting married to your father, my mother told me these words: never lay your hands on your husband or return to my house without his permission. If you do, you cease to be my child, and a curse will follow you." I saw that Christian and cultural dogma in her words. I got more angry and walked out of the kitchen. Months went by, and one day, Dad got home drunk and angry. My mom tried welcoming him, and he pushed her to the floor and started punching her while raining insults on my mom. I tried holding him, but he was out of control. I ran to the kitchen and returned with a knife, which I placed on my chest and screamed. When he looked up, he saw the anger and bitterness in my eyes. "Since you want to kill her, let me die along with her." I really don't know what pushed me to that extent, but I was tired of seeing that poor woman in so much pain and agony for no good reason. Only heaven knows to what extent I was ready to go to make it stop. He knelt in front of me, begging in tears, "Please, my mother, I will never do it again. I swear on my life, I will never do it again. I don't know what came over me. Please, drop that knife. I love you more than my life. Please, drop the knife. Take her up and let's go to the hospital," I said with tears running down my cheeks. He took the knife and put it down, then carried my mom, and we went to the hospital. That was the end of it all. My brother and I moved out of town for university studies, but each time I call and ask if Dad kept to his words, my mom says no with a smile. Time has gone by, seasons have come and gone, and now I am a full-grown, beautiful lady as society calls it. Many guys have come my way. I can't really count. The truth is, I feel some sort of disgust for any man who tries to talk relationship with me. Between getting to know new people, opening the doors of my world to them, and getting to know their own world, well, for me it is hell. I tried meeting 2 new guys from a blind date organized by my friends. It was catastrophic. I think it's going to take God's grace to take me out of this zone. Or maybe like Apostle Paul, I wasn't meant for marriage. For now, I really can't tell. I just intend to live and love those my heart can accept. As for the rest, heaven will decide.